in case of the main effects of the pandemic, since I'm a student from Trinity College doing computer science, and it is very difficult for programmers to staying away from the campus, especially in the lab. And before we can do peer programming in the campus to work together for the same project with our friends. But now everybody has to stay at home and working or study isolatedly, and things become troubles sometimes. But still, we can try our best to manage that. And also because this is a long period of isolating, maybe the mental health issue also impacts for lots of people. And I personally believe that, I strongly believe that this virtual field helps lots of people to memorize the periods before the pandemic. It helps us to bring us to the realistic things, and to release our longing feeling, and to make our feeling happy or feeling standing together with our friends. We are no more alone. Yeah, so it is very helpful to have a virtual reality technique with the people during the pandemic. Yeah. Well, this is a very unique virtual place located in North Dublin. This is basically the entrance of Dublin City University. Since I'm a student from Trinity College, but I'm stay close to this area. Whenever I'm missing my campus in Trinity, but I cannot go easily during the pandemic, I can come here to memorize the missing life of Trinity. And also, this specific place is a very distinct landmarks in northern Dublin, because it's located in the junction of main roads, and there are lots of people driving and working or jogging here daily. Even they can only have a glance look of this area or of this landmark, but still they are very impressive because it is very jammed. There are lots of huge columns, and also if you walk on the different perspective of the columns, you can get completely different point of views. It is very difficult for you to fill in this landmark merely through watching the image on Google Map or looking at the pictures through it, because it is a 3D module, and with the help of this 3D module, we can easily to understand and feeling the shape, the interesting shape from different angles or different locations. From every location, it looks very different, and this is a very interesting thing. That's why I took this place as my interview. Yeah, of course. I either share the code to my close friend, or since I have a YouTube channel, and I used to upload some updation of this place. And lots of friends, they are very happy and very excited to see this place. And even I have some friends from all over or around the world. Some are from China, from India, or from Japan, or from France. They can all see this beautiful and impressive place through my video or through ArtSpace VR app. And it is a big, is a big thing that make me feeling more confident to sharing. And if I'm having alone, that is a small habit. But if I can share these things to make people also happy, that would be a big happy. Where usually, since my house is very close to this area, physically I jogging here in an average 5 days in a week. I used to wearing a Bluetooth earphone, listening beautiful music, jogging while the sun was setting, and it is very memorable and very beautiful to traveling near to this landmark. And also, virtually, I used to come to these scenes to fear and to think about how can I upgrade in the further step of this project of this 3D module, and everything makes me feeling I'm more strong during the pandemic, and it is very motivated, especially working inside this virtual scene, because maybe somebody they used to stay here but then they went back to their own country during this pandemic, and still they are also feeling, still that make them feeling no more missing their past life, and lots of people are happy with seeing this place again virtually. Yeah, it is still very unforgettable for me to memorize the days where I was very tension and I came here to gathering the data, to taking the picture, and also to filming the background in 360 degree, and also to testing with different angles with different data. It was very impressive for my life to whenever, even in 10 years later, if I come to this place again, I will missing the days where I was fighting with my assignments and the debugging, and also missing the days where most of my friends, my professors helped me very selflessly. Since it requires for me to load this 3D module through taking the pictures and then using the algorithms to analyzing the images which I am taking and doing the feature detracting, and also to making this image, these 2D images into a 3D module. And so I used to come here again for upgrading, for updating, and it makes me feeling very happy after I successfully completed this project, and it brings me back to the days while I was walking and doing exercise around this area, where the very beautiful sun and the colorful clouds was located during the sunset. It was very beautiful, and also to and moreover, if I after I sharing this to my friends, to my friends all over around the world, and they were feeling very proud of me, since I complete this project after lots of failures and after lots of steps of the unsuccessful, and they were feeling very happy. This brings me feeling more confident and feeling more persistent to moving for my further career in my study, and this place bring lots of impressive memories in my life. Yeah, that's a good question. Usually, I came here mostly every evening during the sun setting, or sometimes while the sun rising, where there were very less people and less vehicles on the main road. I used to come here and doing jogging or or listening the music, or sometimes I bring a book while reading in this place, and it makes me feeling very peaceful especially after I sometimes working hard for 8 hours continuously, but didn't see the results, didn't see the outputs of my program, of my assignment. And after coming and enjoying in this place physically, and it makes me has more willing to continue the fight. It makes me more brave to work further, to facing the bugs, to facing the failures, and eventually it makes me successfully complete most of my unsuccessful projects previously. And in case of virtually, since I also recorded a real time voice in this location, and it makes people feeling more realistic. And also in virtually, if I come here, it saves lots of times to travel. Even through after a few years, maybe one I or one my friends who missing this place at another corner of the world, or in another country which is thousands miles away from Dublin, Ireland, and it still brings back lots of experience, lots of great memories for us to missing the life that we had already fight during the pandemic. Yeah, that's my question. That's my answer. Where after the experience of developing this project, I'm strongly feeling that the virtual reality industry will be very promising in the next 10 years. Lots of companies and lots of companies will grow much more gent or stronger coming from virtual reality industry. Because after my real experience of developing this project, I'm feeling that the virtual reality really helps people, especially during the pandemic. As you know, lots of people cannot travel out or go to their office or their campus to study or work with people. Everybody are very isolated and restricted in the owning tens of squares of their house, square meters of their bedrooms. And every time you imagine you are staying in the same place, you working, you sleep, and you study. That obviously makes people feeling unhappy or even depressed, right? So, but after we can bring the real sense into virtual, after we can bring lots of for example, like this project, after we really make the Dublin City University's main entrance into our computers, and I'm sure that lots of people were feeling very happy. At least it mitigates their negative thinkings during the pandemic, and it made feeling people have another different perspective of view of their real life. And also, as I mentioned before, in case of virtual projects, even through after a few years, you may no longer live in Ireland, in Dublin. Maybe we are in another corner of the world, and this virtual field brings people again back to their scenes. It brings lots of happy or positive memories with the people who study, who working or fighting near to these areas, and this, if they can see, imagine that if they can see again of this great landmark, of this great and realistic landmark, maybe 10 years ago, I think lots of impressive things will happen to the people, which makes people have a more strong feeling. And so that's why I'm strongly believe that virtual reality could be improved much more better in the next few years, and this industry will be very significant for each people in our daily life, or even for the society.